When Star Wars hit the ball out of the park with its first film, people in the creative industry began plotting to find out what was going to be the next Star Wars. Writers Steve Gerber, Ken Spears, and Joe Ruby theorized that the success of Star Wars was because it was a fantasy adventure with a close-knit group of people at the center. Conan the Barbarian was also in production during this time, and the writers were familiar with the story, as the Robert E. Howard novels were well circulating by this time. A mishmash of these ideas led to the creation of Thundarr the Barbarian, a man who's not afraid to do what is right in a post-apocalyptic world ravaged by corruption, cruel wizards, and weird humanoid mutants. Thundarr rides all around the world with his companions Princess Ariel, a level-headed sorceress, and Ookla the Mok, a humanoid lion-like creature clearly inspired by Chewbacca. Thundarr was the man for 2 whole seasons, and his adventures gripped teenagers and adults in a chokehold. Despite a huge fan base and decent ratings, the network canceled the show to make way for Laverne and Shirley in the Army, a spin-off of Laverne and Shirley, which is itself a spin-off of Happy Days. To say the show didn't do as well as Thundarr is putting it kindly. Though there were whispers of a live-action film of Thundarr and a comic strip that didn't happen, fans of Thundarr have been left high and dry for some new material. Don't worry though, because very recently, we finally have the comic series that was cancelled and we get to join Thundarr for another adventure. Enough talking, let's dive right in. Where Injustice Prevails. The year that it all goes wrong, 1994. The silence of space witnesses a runaway planet hurtling towards our planet that causes devastation on Earth and the Moon. 2,000 years later, Earth is in ruins and humanity is gripping onto life with straws. The river pirates, a nasty group of humans, catch other humans in the ruins of the windless city and call an auction to sell them. They advertise them as certified fresh and feral, promising that none of them are farm-raised. The man continues to hawk in an excited tone, asking all and sundry to come and get humans before they go extinct. The bidders come soon. The Karoks, a group of green humanoid creatures that look like hybrids of snakes and frogs on steroids, offer 2 sacks of deathflower pollen for 5 humans. The Raiders of the Abyss, the hooded snake men, bid 3 drops of the vapors of life for 1 human. The younger the better. I shudder just to think what these snake men want the human for. The man-apes, who are, well, man-like apes, offer the meat of a full-grown grizzly snake, only mildly rotten, for 9. Their auction is interrupted by the groundlings, a humanoid rat race. The Rat King arrives on a motorcycle with his cronies close by, and he offers death to all who oppose him, taking the entire lot. The river pirates raise their swords, reminding him that if he wants humans, he better pay. The Rat King has his rats bring out 1 crate of laser rods for the whole lot. The leader of the Raiders of the Abyss recognizes the weapons to be forged by the metalloids of Vanal, one of the 7 citadels of sorcery, and is surprised that the rats got their hands on them. The Rat King doesn't concern himself with easing his curiosity and asks the pirate if he won the bidding yet. Having no more bids, the humans are sold to the groundlings. The rats begin inspecting each human to make sure none of them are lepers or cripples, as they need everyone to be in tip-top shape to be worked to death. The Rat King recognizes the scent of one of the slaves and asks him whether they've met before. Before he could get an answer, though, a rat creates a ruckus as he's just found out that one of the slaves doesn't have a hand. He accuses the pirate of trying to trick them, but the pirates assure him, though they might be missing a few odds and ends, all slaves are sturdy as can be. To check if he is sturdy, the rat slaps him, and when he falls down, begins stomping him. As the man writhes on the ground in pain, the rat demands a refund, while continuing to stomp him. The slave the Rat King was talking to whips the cruel rat with his chain. Then the other rats attack. He whips them all with his chains and stomps the rat just as he had stomped the old man. The rats arm themselves and wonder out loud what kind of man he is, as he's strong as a Mok. The man sheds his outer robe to show himself to be Thundarr, and screams out loud that he is a free man. Unfortunately, Thundarr is easily outnumbered and chained to the pillion of the Rat King's motorcycle. A few days later, the rats and the slaves arrive by the Sea of Kansas. He tells Thundarr that he hopes he saves some energy for the aqua mines, as he will surely die there, either due to the depths of the mines or the killer dragon eels. Thundarr assures him that he has enough energy to drown rats. The Rat King still can't shake off the feeling that they've met before, and asks whether Thundarr has been to Roadkill Valley. The Rat King shows the new slaves a broken piece of ancient machinery, and asks them to retrieve it from the rubble beneath them, encouraging them to dig till nothing but bone is left in their hands. As in exchange for the relic, he promises their freedom. A lot of the slaves have already died from this mission, as they toss the drowned ones aside and order the slaves to go back down again. Thundarr protests the unfairness of expecting humans to hold their breath underwater for so long, when one of the rats shoves him, telling him that he expects him to serve his masters. He lands a powerful punch, declaring that no human will die for the rats. He sees another rat throw the one-armed old man into the sea, despite the old man saying he cannot swim. Thundarr jumps into the sea while still lecturing that humans are not the playthings of mutants. He reaches down and pulls the old man up when his eyes land on something truly sinister. Near the shore, Princess Ariel and Ookla arrive with Ariel pressed about not finding Thundarr. She wonders if she should have followed the groundlings closely, or said no to Thundarr's crazy plan that led to him being lost in the city. Suddenly, Thundarr rises from the sea riding a huge green monster. Ariel chides him for fishing at a time like this, but that man has bigger fish to fry, quite literally. He asks her for the sword, and using her magic, she levitates it to Thundarr's palm. The beast he is riding rises out of the sea, its body covered with eyes, and opens its mouth to show sharp fangs. Thundarr doesn't want to kill the creature just because it attacked him out of something as natural as hunger, but the beast refuses to back down, and Thundarr is forced to kill it. He chops up the creature into multiple parts, and as he trudges out of the water, he declares the rats are next. As the three friends begin battling the rats, the Rat King finally recognizes who he is and recoils in fear. He knows that Thundarr will be the end of the groundlings, as even the mightiest of sorcerers shiver just from hearing his name. So he asks all of his fellow rats to get away and abandon their mission. Suddenly, a bearded old man walks up to the Rat King, soggy with water, but in his hand is the relic the rats are after. The Rat King takes it in his hands, happy that his masters will be pleased, and knows blood cheese is in store for them tonight. The old man, tired from the ordeal, rests on his knees and asks the Rat King if this means he's free. The Rat King promises that he will no longer be a slave, and wraps his tail around his throat to suffocate him to death. Thundarr chops off his tail and promises to get his head next. He doesn't get to reach the Rat King's head, though, as a powerful blue blast attacks him from behind. Thundarr demands the intruder face him like a barbarian, but when have the villains ever followed the rules of war? The zaps are coming from a huge submarine that is now breached. Ariel recognizes it as the warcraft of General Zoa, who once served Mindok the Wizard, and wonders why he's helping the groundlings. He knows that whenever wizards are involved, it only means one thing. Something bad is about to happen. The rats all run for their lives and board the submarine, and it sinks back into the water. A hero's fears and a brewing plan. Thundarr watches on, as right now, they won't be able to follow the submarine. The people there thank Thundarr and mention how lucky it was that he was enslaved with the rest of them. But luck had nothing to do with what had happened. The group of three had heard rumors of humans being enslaved and killed in some mysterious mine, and Thundarr had volunteered to be taken captive so that Ariel and Ookla could follow him. The old man commends Thundarr's bravery, as it might have been quite a challenge for him to pretend to be a slave. At this comment, Thundarr becomes sad and walks away from the rest of the group. Ariel asks whether she should whip up a bubble so they can follow the groundlings down, and noticing Thundarr's sudden change in demeanor, asks if everything is alright. Thundarr doesn't answer the question, and tells her there might be more people in peril. Ariel isn't happy with his avoidance, and tells him that if he feels troubled remembering the old days, he should come and talk to her, and she promises to listen to him. Thundarr only has 3 words for her, though. Ariel, Ookla, ride! The submarine parks in a sunken city, and the Rat King proudly displays the relic he has despite the intervention of Thundarr. Lord Gemini, hearing Thundarr's name, asks him if he's there. The Rat King assures him that the rats fought valiantly and kept him at bay. King Gemini, or at least his calm side, is happy, and promises to reward the unwavering allegiance of the Rat King. His short-tempered side, though, grabs him by his shirt and yells at him that if he's really the mutant he claims to be, he should have killed Thundarr. Mindok the Wizard arrives, possibly saving the Rat King's life, and asks him to focus on the plan. The relic is the last piece required to fix the moon dial, a weapon that helps control time itself. As Mindok places the relic, he reminds the council of wizards surrounding him that they will never again be pestered by Thundarr or any other human. He declares death to Thundarr and is met with enthusiastic echoes. We suddenly see a flashback to the time when Thundarr was a slave. Maybe it's his dream, or maybe he's remembering just how hard his life used to be. We see Thundarr curled up in the corner of an empty shell. He's woken up by a green frog-like mutant, calling him a worthless sack of worm crap. Thundarr wakes up confused as he thinks he had killed someone mere moments ago. The mutant tells him that was yesterday. As he's led out, one of his fellow prisoners tells him that he was screaming in his sleep again. He figures it was the same dream he sees often. He shares the dream with the guard while picking up his shield. In the dream, he rides the jungles of the land with a sorceress and a giant who eats and grunts a lot. He dreams of being a free man, and it's not a bad dream except that it always ends with him dying, and he wakes up in the real world. The guard asks him to shut up and get on with it. He walks into a gladiator's arena as the crowd cheers for the fiercest human and the mightiest slave. 3 giant and hulking mutants wait for him hungrily. I can't tell you how excited I am that Thundarr is back. The art style of the comic book has a dark, shadowy edge to it, which maintains the atmosphere and is pretty consistent throughout. The story's pretty solid too. The Council of Wizards will form a formidable foe to our hero, and I can't wait to see him face off against them. We also get a glimpse back to Thundarr's gladiator days, and we might get the full story of how Princess Ariel freed Thundarr and Ookla from her stepfather's prison. Maybe we'll get the origin story of Ookla the Mok. I don't have any predictions for the next issue yet, as the first issue didn't give me much to go on, but I'd love to hear your predictions if you have any. Let me know in the comments below, and if you liked the video, make sure to tap that thumbs up, push that subscribe button, and share it with all your friends. I'll be back soon with more awesome stuff, but until then, goodbye!